President Masisi calls on young people to use opportunities available on the African continent. Raising boys to become responsible men is critical to addressing some of the social challenges facing the country. And in sports, athletes have been urged to pursue their dreams and work hard to achieve their goals. President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi has arrived from Namibia, where he attended the commemoration of the Sub-Regional World Children's Day with leaders from Namibia, Zambia and Zimbabwe. The high-level gathering is expected to renew and reaffirm the sub-regional countries' commitment to regional engagements and furtherance of the protection of children's rights. Children from these countries interacted and engaged with presidents and voiced issues affecting them. The President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, commended former Bank of Botswana Governor Mr. Moses Pelaelo for his excellent service in driving the development of the financial sector, which has contributed significantly to the country's transformational agenda in its quest to achieve a digital economy. Speaking during a courtesy call on President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi to formally appreciate the banker who saw the institution through its most transformative phases, the President said skills that Mr. Pelaelo possesses will go a long way in advancing the country's economy. Mr. Pelaelo, who took over during a challenging economic period, was at the helm of Bank of Botswana for 7 years, appreciated government support throughout his years with the bank.
I would imagine never retire, because the person I've come to know of you would not retire. But I thought then you could rest a little bit, and then see where you fit into the rest of the economy, because there's vast opportunity in this economy, as you know, or what we're trying to create, whether it be private, parastatal, or even back in government. But you possess skills that are ready for market. So I wanted to thank you for your service, and hope that you still have enough in your reservoir to share. The one thing common we share is teaching. I hope we can exchange notes on methodologies. You still remember them. But if that were to be, if you were to dissect the attributes of mindset change and you map that onto one of your pet presentation items when we had the briefing to cabinet, the annual one, the extent of household debt presents an opportunity for enormous engagement with the public about really riveting our home economy. Being the 5th president, I take the liberty to represent all the 4 former presidents in thanking you.
And the exposure has been exciting. What is important, Your Excellency, is really the macroeconomic stability that we've been able to achieve. I mean, thanks to many hands. You know, in 1999, when we abolished exchange controls, everybody thought, you know, it will collapse, the exchange rate will collapse. But here we are today. You know, we manage, and it's actually one of the most positive developments that we have achieved for the country. The financial sector grew phenomenally from there on to be, you know, at the time it was just about 6 billion. And today we're talking about half of the GDP is the financial sector. And so, quite frankly, I think that was a marvelous achievement. So I'm glad that, Your Excellency, I'm here, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity for the 7 years that I was there.
President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi has called on young people from Botswana, Namibia, Zambia and Zimbabwe to appreciate and use the opportunities available on the continent to address their challenges. President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi said this in his address at the Sub-Regional World Children's Day celebrations in Walvis Bay, Namibia, stating that Africa has untapped potential.
If you look at the amount of trade that takes place between and among African countries, Africa being the fastest growing continent, the youngest continent, the continent that is home to the biggest group of people with the longest opportunity of a future, the continent that has the most underdeveloped natural resources in the world, the continent that has the largest reserve of fertile land and fresh water than any other continent in the world. This is a huge opportunity. Yes, when you start, it's tough, but look at it for the long haul. So love your countries, love your home, love your fellow Africans, bind, work, understand each other, create content, and you are in for a good time. I wish I was a young person like you.
Still at the World Children's Day commemoration in Namibia, President of Namibia, Dr. Hage Geingob, and President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi both agreed to consider extending the high-level gathering between heads of state and children to the rest of the African continent. The platform, which began in Kazungula in 2021, allows heads of state to reflect on achievements made pertaining to children's rights and their well-being.
What we are doing here of 3 countries, 4 countries is unbelievable. We must recommend that this exercise is spread out throughout Africa. Because when you are coming, the way you are coming here, spend few days here, you come to learn, to know each other. We are building African unity through you. We must expand it maybe, so that already we talk about African unity, not dreaming about African.
President Geingob has asked that we expand this. I readily endorse that, Dr. Geingob, that we need to expand this network of a compact and a dialogue between heads of state and their children.
The chairman of the Companies and Intellectual Property Authority, CIPA, Mr. Tiamo Mutumi, says despite the creation of the organization and others like it, there is still limited intellectual property awareness and entrepreneurial opportunities Africa could benefit from. He said this at the 47th session of the Administrative Council and the 19th session of the Council of Ministers of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization held in Gaborone. Tsolofelo Tombale.
The African Regional Intellectual Property Organization's membership believes in the power of various kinds of intellectual property to solve many of the continent's problems. They highlighted a number of challenges facing them that prevent the member states' citizens from leveraging on intellectual property to better their lives.
Low agricultural yields, emerging lifestyle diseases, access to clean water and green energy are just but some of the problems that are faced by many African countries. As policymakers, the question that should be high on our minds is how we create an enabling environment to facilitate our citizenry to turn these problems into opportunities to innovate. Distinguished delegates, some of our challenges in our region's IP landscape include limited IP awareness, lack of infrastructure, and insufficient legal frameworks.
We need to panel beat our education system. As I'm suggesting, and this is a suggestion which the DG here and the chairperson, shortly before we started, they shared with me, is that we should start it at grassroots level and teach youngsters, especially our youngsters of today. They're much more vibrant than we were at our time. They grasp concepts much quicker than we did. So we believe that if they start being taught it at that level, they will grow up knowing what IP is.
Botswana is due to take over the chairmanship of ARIPO from Zimbabwe at this summit to continue and advance priority areas that can aid the creative industry to thrive and be as competitive as those in developed countries.
As a collective, we have the opportunity to exchange valuable insights, to chart the course to ensure that our vibrant cultural expressions, traditional knowledge, and innovative works become the foundation to create sustainable and vibrant business enterprises within our nations. Through ARIPO, we can shape policies that align with our shared vision of unlocking IP, the IP potential of this continent that we are privileged to call home.
Botswana, through the able leadership of President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, has advocated for a knowledge-based economy and now stands positioned to carry forward that belief as it helps to strengthen intellectual property laws and to standardize the registration of trademarks across multiple markets. Solofela Tombali, BTV News, Gaborone.
Raising boys to become responsible men is critical to addressing some of the social challenges facing the country, such as rape, suicide and gender-based violence. The remarks were made by a Member of Parliament for Molapolle South, also Minister for State President Mr. Kabo Moraing, at the commemoration of International Men's Day in Molapolle. Mr. Moraing says to confront these challenges, men need psychosocial support and to undergo counseling when they go through hard times. Like Tuteng.
According to statistics from World Population Review, Botswana's male suicide rate 4 times higher than their female counterparts. However, it's in that context that the Office for Member of Parliament for Molapolle South organized the International Men's Conference under the theme Zero Male Suicide to address that challenge. This event was a huge success as it managed to attract multitudes of men to attend the conference.
gore ne re ona le maikarabelo ka moso gona le dilo tse dintsi mo motseng wa rona mo lehatsheng la rona ya ka ke boletse ga se dipolano hela re hella re sentse re dirile dio tse di maswe bosenyi bo ile godimo re ha re le borre gore re tle go nna borre ba ba botoka re ha re le borre mo tsatsing la gompieno gore re tle go nna baefangedi ba borre
go botlhoko go utlwa ngwana o mongwe a re ke reketswe se ke ntate wena o sena rrago ke sone se e leng gore se alla se go tšhentšhisa kgantela ngwana o tsaya gore o ikgatlha ka wena o simolola go mo shapa yaanong ke re ke le rotloetse borraetsho gore a re sa tsweng mo botshelong ba bana ba rona.
The event was characterized by loads of information, including issues of men's health. The attendees had an opportunity to test for various diseases such as sugar diabetes, prostate cancer, HIV/AIDS, and other non-communicable diseases. Different speakers shared their experiences on how to deal with issues of depression.
How le motho wa rre o ralla dikgwetlho di sekana ka sepe mo botshelong. Dikgwetlho tse di helele di dira gore seriti sa gago se we. Ha seriti sa gago se ole o latlhegelwa ke tshepo tatlhegelwa ke tshepo e le dira gore gongwe ka mosolo re bo re motho o ikgapetse botshelo kana o gobaditse semammang o bolaile semammang.
We have to seek treatment, we have to go out and take counseling, we have to take a bit of rest and look at ourselves, because a real man not only needs to act strong, but also protect himself and protect his partners.
O ka re rona borre re na le go tshabelelwa ke go sa itetelele go tsaya ditlhakololo kana go itekodisa ba bangwe ke tsaya gore mo kopana bo tshwana le jwa gompieno tana sengwe sa ditsela kana mekgwa ye ka yone re ka gakollanang.
Mr. Moraing, who has been organizing these types of conferences in his constituency, says he intends to host a similar conference for women next year on the 8th of March. Lucky Tuteng, BTV News, Molapolle.
Men have been urged to prioritize their mental health as they are often susceptible to committing suicide and crimes when compared to women. Speaking during the International Men's Day commemoration held in Maung, Gender and Child Protection Officer at Botswana Police, Mr. Sekgopolo Lefatshe, said that statistics showed that men are often perpetrators of crimes and therefore should exercise restraint. Maranyane Samakata.
Men were commended for engaging in social activities such as this one, the Sunday soccer match, which is said to be beneficial in the sense that it affords them a chance to exercise, engage with one another, and be able to open up about various challenges affecting them. This is good for their mental health, as records from Botswana prisons Maung shows that currently there are 170 male prisoners and 1 female prisoner, and men have therefore been urged to open up and address issues that could be leading them to wayward behavior.
Re laole maikutlo a rona go lebega thata bo re palwa ke go laola maikutlo a rona a hella re baketse go dira melato
khanya metona ele kopo mo go lona ke gore health is power. Let's take care of our mental health. Ibile gape re lebelle thata le malatsi a lwetsa go tseng a lwetsa ile gore.
Culture is considered to be a contributing factor.
I think it is high time
Meanwhile, men have been urged to break the circle of absent fathers.
Through the child trauma facing.
This event was the first of a series of events that will be held to commemorate the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Maranyani Samakata, BTV News, Maung.
The chairman of Botswana Guides Association, Boga, Mr. Peace Shamuka, says that Boga has been successful in fulfilling its mandate of empowering local guides to have a meaningful contribution in the tourism sector. Mr. Shamuka said this during the Boga annual general meeting held in Maung recently. Maranyane Samakata.
Boga has a mandate to promote and create a locally based tourism and safari industry in the country with a goal of increasing employment and job opportunities for local people. By the year 2017, about 290 local companies were registered and operational, while a total of 1,015 youths were employed in the tourism sector.
Re dumalana le gore mente mo nako ya gompieno gore a Batswana ba tsenelele mo bojanaleng gore ka muso bana ba rona meamuso ya rona e dirisiwe ke Batswana re sa bate go togela ba batang ba taba re etela ba taba bereka le rona ba dira dikgwebo le rona ra ba amogela mme hela bo maikalo a Botswana Guide Association. Guides
have been urged to continue to uphold the country's reputation of being among some of the best tourism destinations around the world.
I would like all of us to appreciate that Botswana is not only regarded as one of the most exclusive safari destinations in Africa, but one of the most remarkable wilderness areas on earth. Botswana is boasting of vast areas of protected wilderness, pristine landscapes, and a rich wildlife diversity. In this regard, Botswana is globally regarded as a safari destination. Boga has decided to be part of this beautiful safari destination story.
Service providers also urge to strive for excellence.
Mostly focuses on the experience at a destination. Mongo wemella kwa gagagwe wemella kwa gabone a etela lehelo la rona a etela makgobokgobo sa se batang ke what you call experience. I was there and I enjoyed the place. Jano ga ile go rubua gore ne ke ile ko tota rona ba ile gore taba re mo amogela kwa gorogelang teng boikarabelo jwa rona ke
The tourism sector continues to be one of the highest contributors to the national GDP, and guides have been commended for being active participants and custodians of nature, as it is one of their mandates to keep natural habitats in their pristine state. Maranyane Samakata, BTV News, Maung.
Road traffic accidents are a major concern in Botswana as they negatively impact the country's economy. This was said by the Minister of Transport and Public Works, Mr. Eric Molale, who noted that the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund was established precisely to assist victims of road traffic accidents. Abigail Madorobo with more.
According to police reports, 304 lives has been lost due to road crashes between the month of January and October 2023, as compared to 227 who had lost their lives from the same period last year in 2022. Mr. Molale says these road accidents are mainly caused by overspeeding, carelessness and pedestrian misconduct, among other things. However, he says this is worrisome as it mostly affects the victims from the age bracket of 21 to 50 years.
Rebona botlhaswa mo go diriseng tsela gore ke bakgweetsi ke ba ba tsamayang ka dinao ke barui mo botlhe mo go le re botlhaswa yo bo isang ko gore pabalesego e se ka ya nna teng.
O le motsamaya ka dinao o tshwanetse le wena wa ipabalela ga o tlola tsela ka to kgabaganya tsela. O le motsamaya ka sekotse kara sa ditonki o tshwanetse gore se nne le di-reflectara tse di tla supegetsang badirisi ba tsela ba dikoloi gore go loga go kgabaganya sekotse kara sa ditonki go loga go kgabaganya baesekele ke dilo tse re tshwanetseng ra di dira re sa patelediwa re sa tshollediwa thupa ke ope ka gore botshelo ke jwa rona.
Ke le moeteledipele wa motse ke kgothatsa batho botlhe ba motse wa Mathangwane le metse e gaufi ga mmogo le setšhaba sotlhe ka kakaretso go dirisa tsela ka kelothoko gore ba matshelo a botlhe a babalesege.
Road accident victims also appreciated the MVA fund for taking care of them during the difficult times.
MVA ba gaitso ke e makela ha ke tsepega ke re ya thusa hela thata go mena ka.
Motorists were encouraged to obey the road signs and traffic regulations to avoid unnecessary accidents, which continues to claim innocent lives. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Mathangwane.
Member of Parliament for Muchudi East, Mr. Mabuse Pule, applauded Standard Chartered Bank for their continued generosity and acts of corporate social responsibility, particularly in remote areas, highlighting that this helps reduce government's cost of reaching out to these areas. Mr. Pule said this during a handing over ceremony where Standard Chartered Bank donated a mobile refrigerator, computers and toiletries to Oliphants Drift residents. Wabetsu Mpulubusi.
Oliphants Drift is situated 80 kilometers from Muchudi village with a population of over 2,300 people who mostly make a living from fishing. Standard Chartered Bank saw it necessary to donate a mobile refrigerator to the Village Development Committee to help in storing and preserving their catch before it is sold to the market.
Jaanong ne re na le mpho e re neng re batla go dira le mpho ya bobedi e leng mobile freezer mo re neng re batla go abela local VDC gore re ha ditlhapi tse dintsi di tshwarwa tse di kgone go tsenngwa in the mobile freezer di kgone go ya ko marketeng batho ba kgone go jesa bana le bone ba kgone go itshetsa.
Ke solofela gore VDC tla be thusa gore ditlhapi gongwe ba tsaya letjananyana mo bona gore ba ba thuse go a go rekisa ditlhapi tsa bona mme jaaka ditse bona ditlhapi bana ba bolela mathata a bona le ona ba tlhokomela di-net fishing nets which are very expensive ba tlhokomela di-life jackets ba tlhokomela dihuku those one ba ba dirisa dihuku ba tlhokomela le menkoro. These are
very expensive equipment to buy and maintain. Ya ngare bona o tsena Bank Chartered Botswana ba tla ba dira yalo. Ra idumela ka go tla go morela go bona ka dinete le mekoro le la jacket. Ba khadi.
Olifantsdrift has one primary school which is performing remarkably in the Katlan district. Therefore, the 2,900 books and 10 computers donated will help this school to improve their results.
Ke itumetse thata nna le barutabana ba me ka mokgwa e kana re hilweng ke batho ba Standard Chartered Bank ba re hile dikhomputara le 10 re ntse re sena dikhomputara mo sekolong sa rona dikhomputara tse di a go re thusa madu a rona a ntse a le gagare ka 2021 ne re dirile 69.7 last year 2022 ne re dirile 53%. mme ano ha di le ha yana because re tabe re na le ha re research hanteng re bata dikitso tse di rileng.
The MP also assured residents that the government is working on providing Wi-Fi and internet connectivity that will help the youth with research amongst others. Wa Betsui Pulubusi, BTV News, Olifantsdrift.
Farmers have been encouraged to be steadfast and proactive in learning more on how best to diversify their enterprises to be worthwhile and more rewarding. This was said at Ho Kodisa near Moshopa by one of the country's established farmers, Mr. Stephen Batswana, at the Agro-Products Processing Exhibition, which showcased how to enhance value of byproducts and venture into more profitable agricultural production. Emmanuel Rapowa.
A diversified agricultural enterprise where the farmer has full knowledge and skills has enormous return on investment, more so that some have quit their formal employment to focus primarily on their agrarian dreams. It is against this reality that Farmers Clan are resolute to train and share valuable expertise knowledge to all those who are keen to benefit and contribute significantly to Botswana's quest for a sustainable food security.
Re ra bona go le matshwanedi ha re ntse re tsamaya re kopana le balemi ba rui gore go ha ka re temothuo ya rona e me go le one hela ga re tsene mo go teng di value chain ka ke di value addition you know more than re ke yone re agro processing.
Be persistent. Knock that door. You go to that ministry's office, you asking for assistance, knock it and knock it. No emotions attached. Never. Business don't run on emotions. White or meole. No. Be courageous as you can be. And along the way, you'll find your footsteps.
If you've got those three, quality, volume, and consistency, please don't think you can do it alone. You're making a mistake. So Farmers Clan, my message to you guys and your supporters is to say, embrace this opportunity. Government is behind it. The new subsidy systems are also behind this.
Great lessons learned here include how to use indigenous fruits and field produce to make a series of products that have a better shelf life.
There is so much that this country has been blessed with. Len Nahela, as an individual, how can I contribute to the diversification, the economy, ya Botswana? So now I'm a real advocate for Tsanaga, our wild indigenous fruits.
Agriculture. Tota nna ke tlotla go gaisa le one tema. Ha re ka e tsaya sentle. Agriculture is so broad.
Valuable knowledge attained here is expected to be a moral booster for local farmers to be bold, persevere and expedite entrepreneurial skills on their investments. Emmanuel Rapua, BTV News, Hokodisa.
Bana Bamezi School, which remotes truant boys with antisocial behavior such as bullying, harassment, theft, amongst others, stated that they wish to reach out to more learners to mold them into responsible citizens. The school, located 10 kilometers from Ngarange, rehabilitates learners, in the process also developing their educational as well as vocational skills. BTV News reporter Tiny Tsugudu.
Nestled some 10 kilometers from Ngarange village lies the Bana Bamezi School, a facility admitting males who have dropped out of school for various reasons. The school provides a lifeline for learners who had abandoned their studies but are given an opportunity to re-enter the formal education system and become productive members of the community. The school's remote location also limits temptations.
So that we develop a more individualized intervention plans, the IIPs. So we attended the one-on-one sessions, group sessions, responsibility safeguard the rights of animal school. It takes a village to raise a child. So other stakeholders.
The learners are also equipped with vocational skills, a necessity in navigating the job market today.
Through agriculture, la carpentry in general, la poultry, la brick molding. Through ya carpentry in general, idura ke bana ba dirang start 7. Ya poultry, la brick molding, la horticulture, idura ke master 5 and 6. The life skills.
If we go for PSLE results 2021, our ABC percentage rate was at 20%. In 2022, it was at 45%, being an increase of 25%.
Like any other institution, this school faces challenges which restrict the management from fulfilling their mandate.
Asasakila dirisa ditagetse di bokete ya ka motokwane bo cocaine ngwana e be ratsa na ba supadiketse o ntse tsa gore ya no thoka dilo tse le gore a di goge mediseo mme ka go thusa le mo mabipelo go le officer na rehabilitation mo school re gona gore lwantshe maba yo ngwana ba tswa mo mogengwo.
Bana Bamezi work jointly with the government social and welfare departments to ensure these youngsters discover their worth and know to reach for the stars. Tiny Tsugudu, BTV News, Skanduku.
It is time now for sports with Liza Oseke. Liza?
Dumela Mama Penny.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Monday evening, eh?
It is a beautiful Monday evening. I don't even know if it is a beautiful Monday evening, but because you are here, it is a beautiful Monday evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Khomotso Mapani. Good evening. My name is Liza Oseke with your World of Sport. And starting off with football news. The Zebras head coach Didier Gomez da Rosa admits that they didn't do well in some technical aspects of the game in their 2-3 loss against Mozambique last week, Thursday. Zebras gaffer made the remarks at a media briefing this evening in Francistown, where he cited that they have been battling to be more clinical in front of goal in the last 4 days before taking on Guinea tomorrow afternoon at Obed Itani Chilume Stadium. Zebras are currently in 4th place in Group G, while Guinea, who defeated defeated Uganda by 2-1 in their first match, are in second behind pace-setters Algeria. Mozambique edged out Botswana 3-2 with Tlhalefa Molaudi and Mohakulu Dingele scoring for the Zebras in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier clash. But now they will be desperate to secure maximum points in their second straight home tie.
Happy about some player during the last match. I was not satisfied about other. So we need to change something. Very important, and you know, is also we play only 4 days ago. It is also very important to make a small turnover. Very important to put on the ground fresh player.
Obviously the mood is high on the camp. Every game the mood is always high. It's just always to respect our tactical approach that we have planned against, which cannot be mentioned now because obviously it shall be displayed tomorrow in the game. So, and the boys are ready for the encounter that will be tomorrow.
Kutlano ladies booked themselves a spot in the finals of the Botswana Volleyball Federation Golden Cup after defeating BDF 6 by 3-2 in the semi-finals played at SSKB courts. Tlamelo Monsusi has the story.
BDF 6, who went into the semi-finals after beating Sebokeng 3-0, won the first set, claiming it 25-21. In the second set, Kutlano, who made their way into the finals by beating UB 3-0, refused to lie down as they won the second set 25-19 to make it a set apiece. BDF ladies regained control of the match, and that proved vital as they claimed the third set 25-21. As the Fat Lady was just about to sing, Kutlano regained their momentum and forced the game into the fifth and deciding set after coming back from behind for the second time with a 25-14 score line. In the deciding set, Kutlano showed their experience as they easily won by 15-6, booking a spot in the finals of BVF Golden Cup.
The mistakes are not the service. We lost about 8 serves the first set. Even the second one, I think it was going to lose about 7 or so serves. But they needed to cut out. Happy one mobile monobali. Can at first they were not mobile. Happy roots are on any Diranella Tatamu Muniti. So after Barare, but it's a 3-meter line. The setter was mobile. That's how we were able to win the game.
Game in Ezama by the set. Other team, it's a set because Neira deal accordingly. From there, the other one, yeah, back in the mistake, it's a then a below net. Our main letdown in our receiving department. Pass our 9 year class, of which my ladies gave once was our take. Moralo Abono class. Pasar Nana collapse, Civisar Nana collapse, officials, Samekali team is on a Lugano, we ready mistaking at the Dinsignalo. How can I want to special as a Honan to
In the other games played today, Police 6 beat Kalapango by 3-0 with score lines of 25-20, 25-18, and 25-11. On the men's side, just like the female counterparts, Police 6 beat Kalapango by 3-1, registering a scoreline of 25-18, 21-25, 25-14, and 25-15. Tlamelo Monsusi, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
A horse named Western Bypass from Motoke village ran supreme at this year's Charles Hill Derby, organized by Chris Stan Horse Racing Agency. Western Bypass won the main 2,400-meter thoroughbred after in a category race held at Charles Hill over the weekend. Leseho Mokwaisi compiled this report.
The inaugural Charles Hill race held at the new horse track saw spectators came in large number to witness horses compete in various categories, which included 1,600 meters, 1,400 meters, 1,000 meters, and 800-meter distances, amongst others. In the main 2,400-meter race for the top-performing breeds, it was Western Bypass of Motokwe Village, owned by Taimon Kilibeng, which dominated from start to finish.
se se dirile gore ke kgone ska ka henya fitse mo kile ana le bokuanyana jwa go lwala mme am so gompieno kgone go recover ke sone se kgone go tla position train ke sa solehela.
Area member of parliament, who was amongst the hundreds of spectators, urged horse race lovers and stable owners to make use of this new horse track, as government has used up to 4 million pula to develop the facility.
Lo bala lo maikelelo alone ke go ntsha banana mo mekgwatheng go leka gore ka ditsela tsote re ba re le ha re putile banana ba Charles Hill re ba kgaotse mo ditirong gongwe tse di sa siamang ba le ha le bone ba jesa dikakanyo tsa bone monate. Lo bala lo ke gore lone ka lo ntseng ka te re ne ra bona gore morae wa Charles Hill batho ba Charles Hill borra dipitsi le bomma dipitsi ba rata mabelo a dipitsi bile ba rata dipitsi tsa bona ya no re ba dule thuso gore ka lo bala lo borra dipitsi gonne le ha ba trainer na dipitsi tsa bone teng batho betso.
Toro ya me ke gore ke bone race ya me e gola ke letsa go bona lebala le tsena mo tirisong ke letsa go bona lebala le tlhabologile ga ke letsa go bona lebala ka moso le nnang dingwaga le sa dirisiwe go leterata e ntlentle le bonanye e senyega e sengwa ke dikgomo e tshwana le diplastic tse le gore di senyegile mme di na le beng ba tsone.
The horse race organized by Christian Horse Racing Agency rewarded the winner of the 2,400 meter with a Brahman bull donated by one of the renowned farmers in the area, Mr. Pete Philander, as a way of supporting horse racing sports. Lesego Mokwaisi, BTV Sports, Charles Hill.
As part of their mandate to develop tennis from grassroots, Botswana Tennis Association hosted a junior tennis festival in Maung this weekend. The program is one of the many programs run by the International Tennis Federation to assist member associations like BTA to develop the sport. Anthony Tobogang.
Tennis is one of the most underrated sporting codes around Botswana due to a lack of resources like tennis equipment and courts, and Maung is not an exception. In an attempt to develop and grow the sport from grassroots level, the Botswana Tennis Association hosted a junior tennis festival in Maung, which focused on teaching kids between the ages of 8 and 16 the fundamental basics of tennis from different areas around Maung.
So we are hosting this event here as part of the JTI. The JTI is a very important tennis initiative which helps us to reach different parts of the country. We are able to impact a number of kids to introduce the game of tennis. Today in Maung we had a large group of kids turning up, which is very impressive. And we think that we are really achieving our objectives in terms of tennis development.
Maung-based coaching staff emphasized that tennis in Maung has the potential to grow and produce superstars due to the talent they have seen so far, and urged parents to be more involved in encouraging their children to join the sport, as it is essential in grooming a child's mentality.
Tota, today's program was to introduce fundamental basic techniques to Banaba Maung, the juniors of Maung. Tota, the children showed up. There was a great number of children that showed up, and tota ne ba itumetse ba ithutile go le gontsi. Tota, tennis is not a really hard, it's not a hard sport, so re sologela go le gontsi mo go bone. We are expecting them to return, and we hope to take them to international levels as well.
Metšhologelo ya gompieno ne e nametsa because re tshwere bana ba ba over 50 for today for this program. Program o ra re ta be nna e le teng full time. Se re tshwanetse go ntsha bana mo mekgwatheng re ba tisa mo di sports because sports ke sone se le gore se builda ngwana se ntsha ngwana mo dilo tse di sa nna sente ebile segolo jang bana ba te ba se ba le banyenyane.
The Botswana Tennis Association, in collaboration with International Tennis Federation and the Botswana National Sports Commission, will also be hosting this festival in other places like Sorowe, Palape and Francistown to develop tennis from grassroots. Anthony Toborang, BTV Sports, Maun.
Athletes have been urged to pursue their dreams and work hard to achieve their goals, as this will have a positive impact on their livelihoods. This was said by Downgrading General Manager John Mutsumi during the Botswana Boxing Association National Championships held in Gaborone over the weekend. Komotso Sefako.
Botswana Boxing Association has gone over a decade without a sponsor for all their tournaments, which has been a major concern for them. Their prayers, however, have been answered as Downgrading Company came on board to sponsor their national championship to a tune of 100,000 pula.
Downgrading is much interested mo hetoleng botshelo jwa Motswana. E seng botshelo jwa Motswana hela le go bona Motswana a palama a ya go gongwe. It is very, very important today to encourage all the boxers here. You should aim higher, or you should make sure that you have good dreams about this boxing. Let's say the lona kgotsa matlho a lona le ipone le ko mankaleng le ka lebaka la go ribolla talente ya rona mo latsheng ja Botswana ja ka re itse gore tautono wa rona o batla
Mutsumi further pleaded with the private sector to have a helping hand.
To the other business sectors or companies or individuals, I therefore encourage you gore re ipone re rotloetsa ditiragalo tsa go tshwana le mme ke ne ke kopa bagwebi jalo gore a re ipone re tsenga letsogo mo go tlhabololeng le go ribulola talente ya Motswana.
Boba expressed their appreciation towards this gesture.
Sponsorship se le gore salary tswa khakala re se bat ha ke ga kologala sente sponsorship sa rona sa bohelone le sa 08 le sa mo ka mage go tswa ka 08 re ntse re la sello sa garage me ra kopana le Joshua yo ile nga re thusa mo sebakeng seno gore a re sponsor motshameko la itse re metshameko ye ke metshameko ile gore ra bo re ipaakanyetsa metshameko ya di-Olympic ya di-zonal so ke yone nako a gore re leke go ipaakanya.
EMG are the overall winners of this year's national championships after collecting 16 points, followed by Diamond Boxing Club and DTCB on second and third spot respectively. This year alone, the Boxing Association managed to host 7 inter-club tournaments, 2 preliminary rounds and the national finals. Komzo Sefako, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that is it for sport this evening. Komzo Mapani is standing by to give us a reminder of our top stories. Maitso, let's do this again tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Liza. The name of that horse, Western Bypass.
Horses and names. There's this other one is called Kiss My Dust.
Kiss My
love
Dust.
It, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Liza. That was Liza Oseke giving us the latest in sports. Right now, let's take a final look at stories leading the way this evening. President Masisi calls on young people to use opportunities available on the African continent. Raising boys to become responsible men is critical to addressing some of the social challenges facing the country. And in sports, athletes have been urged to pursue their dreams and work hard to achieve their goals. That's all that we had in our news bulletin this evening. BTV News, ikanye rona, #BW Mindset Change, Arching.
The L'Oréal Foundation is awarding and celebrating women in science for the last 25 years. The reason for it, women scientists were made invisible for as long as science exists. Their discoveries and contributions were hindered, silenced, even stolen. And to change this, it's not just about an issue of equality or more equal societies. It is